Hi, good morning, everybody. Crafting Journey here. That Journey Chick on Instagram. And it's Friday. Payday. Friday dance. Friday dance. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm trying to get a hold of my granddaughter to see if she would like to come over for the weekend because I need to get out and do something. I was thinking last night, what could we do? Like, could go bowling? And then this is how I fell asleep. I was trying to remember how to keep score in bowling. It's been that long since I bowled, and that's how I fell asleep trying to think of how to keep score in bowling. Isn't that crazy? No, Rebecca, it's perfectly sane. Okay, we're still working on Al is lost. Look, I did a little. Oh, let me turn that off again. Little clock. Look, the clock. Isn't that cool? This painting is full of these delightful little surprises. So I'm really having fun with this painting. It's taken me a hot minute, but it is what it is. I don't rush through anything. So, oh my God. Yesterday, I finished, well, the Prokopovitz trial went very late. It went till 7:30 last night. So I was loom knitting. I said, I'm going to finish this uh, hooded cowl. So here it is. I don't even want to put it on because, guys, it's ugly. I love the yarn. The yarn it's gorgeous yarn, and I don't even remember what it was. But like it goes this way, and then you bring this around with buttons. I don't know. I think it's ugly. What do you guys think? I don't know. It ugh. And look, there's a I don't know. I'm not enamored with this. I prefer my hooded scarves that I crochet. But I like working with the loom. I'm going to keep practicing. I'll make something else. Someone requested a scarf. So that'll be the next thing I do. I'll do just a regular scarf. But that thing, ooh, yeah. When I got done with it and I put it on, I went, yeah, that's the first time I've ever made something that I just didn't like. Um, oh well. It happens. Anyway, it is National Fairy Tale Day. So, oh my gosh, fairy tales go back, hundreds of years when there were actually traveling storytellers, and they would go around telling these stories. Um, so that's kind of the origin. And then, like, people started writing them down, like the Grimm brothers and Aesop, and they started writing them down because the art of storytelling was going away. Nowadays we'll sit around the campfire and we'll tell ghost stories, which is kind of equivalent to what these fairy tales were, and a lot of them were actually based in fact, but just embellished every time the story got told. For example, I need to find it. The story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is actually thought to be based on Marguerite von Waldeck, the daughter of a 16th century Count of Waldeck. Um, This was an area of Germany that the family lived in, was well known. There were mines everywhere around this, and they were famous for using children in the mines because of the size of the mines. So this is where they think they got the dwarfs idea from. And then Marguerite's beauty was well known, and she was actually sent away. She fell in love with a prince and then died before she could marry him. Um, so so that story kind of got, every time it got told, it got, more and more embellished, and now it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Isn't that cool? I didn't know that. So what is your favorite fairy tale? I'm going to have to say, I'm going to go with Cinderella. Love Cinderella. Is that a fairy tale? I think so. Well, I don't know, but I love it. Cinderella. I think it's a fairy tale. If it's not, you'll tell me. Um, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is pretty cute. Hmm. Let me know what your favorite fairy tale is. So I need to get right to the trial. Judge, jury, and journey. Because yesterday, like I said, when I was loom knitting that ugly cowl, this trial went to 7:30 last night. So what happened was they spent the morning and the day part of, finishing up with the investigators. And they just kind of were, giving summations of the evidence that had been gathered. And I think the most interesting thing I got out of these guys is that they really felt that this guy was, because they interviewed him many, many times over 8 years, and they said he was very quick to anger, very volatile, crude. I mean, at one point he's being interviewed and he's like, "What do you want me to do? Pull my wife out of my ass?" Like, and the investigators were like, "What did you just say?" And then he kept calling her that woman, that woman. And they're like, "Why are you saying that? She's your wife." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, my wife." He was just, yeah. So, and then the defense attorney asked the one investigator, and this was brilliant. He says to the investigator, because at one point Curly had said to the confidential informant that was in jail with him that, oh, there's 1,000 ways she could have died. So I think they were kind of talking about that with the investigator, and the defense attorney says, "Isn't it true that nobody really knows how she died?" And the investigator goes, "Oh yeah, Mr. Prokopovitz knows how she died." I almost fell off my chair. I thought that was a good one. No evidentiary value whatsoever, but I just loved it. So the prosecution wrapped up their case. The state rests. And then, so I'm, oh, is he going to take the stand? Because I was going to take a poll with you guys. Is he going to take the stand? Is he not going to take the stand? Well, all of a sudden, defense rests. I'm like, what? So he didn't take the stand. Didn't put on any witnesses, no, yeah, they're just like, nope, we're resting. I think that they believe that the state has not proved their case. So this judge, this retired judge, he's like, he wants to get in and out of there. He started on Monday. He wants to be done with this thing. He's like, I gave up a week of my retirement. I want to get out of here. He didn't say that. I'm saying that. But so they do the jury instructions. They bring out the jury. They give them their instructions. And then at 6 o'clock last night, the prosecution starts their closing arguments. Now, after hearing the prosecution closing arguments, I am firmly in the guilty camp. And I will tell you a couple of reasons why I believe this. Now, She gets done, the prosecutor gets done at 7:30 at night, and I'm thinking, yeah, I want to go do something else, you know. We've had enough. I'm sure the juries were starving. Everybody in the courtroom was probably starving. So the judge comes out and he's like, oh, okay, I was going to try to push it, but all right, we'll recess. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll start fresh at 8:30 in the morning, and the defense will put on their closing arguments. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. So they expect that the case will get to the jury by lunchtime today. So tomorrow in the morning show, we will have a lot to talk about. We'll have a verdict. I don't think it's going to take this jury very long. It's Friday, payday. They want to get home to their families. Judge wants to get out of there. I don't see this lasting very long. So, a couple of interesting things that were brought out on closing arguments. Now, closing arguments is not evidence, but she mentioned one thing, and when she said this, I went, he's guilty. Here's what happened. When they get the initial call that she's missing on April 26th, they're going through the house, and they take pictures in the house of the various rooms and stuff like that. And later on, during the investigation, when he's showing them around the house, there's film of the house, and you see different things. So they did a still picture of the bed where he sleeps. So they had a picture from the initial walkthrough on the 26th, the day she's missing. And then they have a picture of the bed later on down the line. Now, the first picture of the bed, everything's pristine. The covers on, the pillows are all arranged and fluffed, which, the evidence is his wife was meticulous. So, this bed is just gorgeous. Now, if you look at the bed later on, it's all mussed up. And during the evidence, they ask the son, does your father get up in the morning and make the bed? And he's like, no, never. He can't be bothered. So what this tells me is that he never slept in that bed that night on the 26th. His testimony is he went to bed, woke up, his wife wasn't there. Now, you can't tell me that he meticulously made that bed, fluffed up the pillows, and put it exactly the way his wife had it. He didn't sleep in that bed. He's lying. He never went to bed. He was doing something with her body. I am in that camp. That convinced me when I saw that bed was meticulously made up. He had not slept in it. No way. I mean, what guy gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, your wife is missing, you make the bed? Didn't happen. So, and the second thing is when he takes the investigator and says, here's where I looked for my wife. I drove past this gas station. And his testimony is that he drove between the pumps and the gas station building. It's one of those like 7-Eleven quick trip type things where, there's a building and then there's the pumps. So he says he drove between them. So they did hours and hours of surveillance, like from midnight till 6 a.m. when he claims that he was, looking for his wife in his work truck. And they went over that video. They got the video from the stores, and he was never there. He never drove through. Yeah, no, he lied. And then we know that he committed perjury. So he's actually on trial for 4 counts: the murder of his wife, conspiracy to commit perjury, the commission of perjury, And this is when he lied about the origins of his relationship with this woman, Kathy Friday, who we know killed herself before she was due to be sentenced for perjury. They both admitted, they both gave statements that said, yes, I committed perjury. It was an evidentiary hearing. On the way to the hearing, they were talking about how they were going to tell this lie, that they met at this casino. They actually met up at a truck stop and went to a motel and had sex. Um, but I think the evidence also is pretty clear that their relationship started well before his wife went missing. So there's your motive right there. So he's charged with conspiracy to commit perjury, murder, and then the fourth charge is obstruction of justice. Telling this lie and misleading all of the investigators for years. Um, so I'm going with guilty on all counts. Yeah, that's the camp that I'm in. But today, I haven't heard the defense's closing arguments, so we will hear that this morning. Um, and what do you think he did with his wife? I think that she is in that quarry. They did search. There were 17 retention ponds there. Only 3 were open. We know he had access to this retention pond. Could get in there anytime he wanted. He had the key. Um, and there was testimony from some of the owners of this quarry that if you put a body in this sludge, you're probably not going to find it. I mean, they searched, they sent in divers, but they couldn't see anything. The divers' testimony is that they actually just kind of had to feel around. So no, they didn't find her. So tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have a verdict to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. A little something to figure out. Oh my God, yesterday I was working and this, you get those news briefs. I do. I get these news flashes that come over my iPad. And there was this news flash that it's not really funny, but it kind of is, but it isn't. I love Lady Gaga. I just worship this woman. I think she's the best singer of our generation. Anyway, she's got this French poodle. The dog walker's out walking her French poodle. Somebody shoots the dog walker and steals the dog. So Lady Gaga has put out a $500,000 reward for the return of her French poodle. How horrible. First of all, who's got a dog walker? I need to hire a dog walker. Tootsie would love that. That's so sad that somebody would shoot the dog walker and then steal her dog. I feel bad for her. Oh. Anyway, well, I'm glad she wasn't walking the dog because she would have been shot. Crazy world we live in, isn't it? Crazy world. So what does a hungry clock do? They go back for seconds. I know, that was silly. What, Rebecca? Yeah. Isn't that funny? I think it's funny. I'm like, not really. Okay. Guys. Oh, dear. I'm so glad it's Friday. I've worked my butt off this week at work. I've had so much work to do, so I'm listening to this trial and I'm working at the same time. Yeah, interesting, huh? So let's do this day in history. So this poor old guy, he wasn't old. I don't know how old he was at the time. Anyway, He's unemployed longshoreman. He's in Philadelphia. It's his birthday, February 26th. This is his birthday. He's walking down the street, and lo and behold, he finds $1.2 million in the street. It had fallen off the back of this armored truck. I'll bet that guy was in trouble. Who didn't close the door? Uh, so he kept it. I would. So they made a movie out of it. It's called Money for Nothing, starring John Cusack. And then later on, a book came out in 2002 called Finders Keepers. The story of a man who found $1 million on his birthday. Oh my. If it was my birthday, I'd say, yeah, that's for me. God was looking out for me. Now, I don't think I would go on a spending spree, which is what he did. He just kind of goes crazy. He's handing out $100 bills to his friends. Later on, he gets arrested because he's at JFK Airport trying to go to Acapulco, and he's got $105,000 in cash taped around his ankles. Who does that? That is so weird. Now, the name of the armored car company was Purelated Armored Services. And they later recovered about $1 million of the original amount. But this guy, his name was Joseph William Joey Coyle. So Joey Coyle goes on trial for this. And I need to start another. So his defense was temporary insanity. And guess what? The jury bought it. Yep, not guilty. I love it. Yeah. I love that. I absolutely love that. Not guilty. Temporary insanity. But unfortunately, this is a guy who struggled with drug addiction his whole life. And right before that movie, Money for Nothing, with John Cusack came out, he committed suicide. He hung himself in his basement. But I don't think it had anything to do with the movie. He was due to be sentenced on his 6th drug charge. So he was avoiding jail. That's what he was doing. He's like, nope, not going to jail. So what would you guys have done with the money? I'm trying to think, if I found 1.2, first of all, I'd bring it home. I would not spend any of it. Not for a while. Oh, it'd be very tempting. Oh my God. Can you think of all the yarn I could buy? I could, because like, they're going to be looking out for people that are making large deposits into their bank account. So you really, like, I think I would just have to keep it and spend it like in very small increments. Like this week, I'm going to order $100 worth of lion brain yarn. I don't know. I'd probably get caught. I'd get caught because the urge to spend it would just be overwhelming. Like, I can't even save a stimulus check, much less $1.2 million. So what would you guys do with it? Yeah, I think that's one for the mattresses, right? Where you just put it under the mattress and I don't know. Or you could hide it, and then after your trial where you're acquitted for temporary insanity, you could go back and get the money. Yeah. Nah. Or if you are found guilty, then you tell your kids where you put the money. Now, so tonight is my good friend Mickey Sunshine Creates. She's going to go live at 6 p.m. Central, and I'll be there to cheer her on. Woohoo! After that is DP Addiction Adventures. And she's hinted around that she's going to have a special guest tonight. I don't know who that is. She hasn't said. So we'll see what she's got up her sleeve. She always has some funny stories to tell. And I'm fairly sure I'm not going to be, watching this trial late like I was last night. I didn't mind. It was fascinating. But here's the thing. Now, I need your opinion on this, guys. I'm asking you guys a lot of questions today. I would like to cover for you the George Floyd trial. That starts March 8th. So like a week and a half from now. Now, I realize that it's very controversial. Very, very controversial. So, let me know how you feel about that. Would you like me to cover the trial? I mean, I'll if you would like, I can just stay unbiased, like saying, not saying, oh, he's guilty or what, just give you the evidence and let you guys decide. I don't know, what do you think? So let me know what you think. Curly, guilty, not guilty? What do you think the verdict's gonna be? What would you do with the money? Let me know what you would do with the money. And do you want me to bring you the George Floyd trial? I really want to watch it. Whether you guys want me to bring it for you, cover it for you or not, I want to watch it. So let me know, because that's going to be one where what's going on outside the courtroom is going to be as interesting as what's going on inside the courtroom, because they have already, this courthouse has been boarded up because they're expecting protests and stuff. So we shall see. So let me know what you guys think. Oh, I put the arrows away and there's a whole bunch there. How did I miss those? They just grew overnight. So tonight is the night where, I'll sit down and I will listen to Mickey and Jennifer's lives, and I'll sit and diamond paint. So it's kind of like my diamond painting night. And I realize that, I have not put in a lot of time diamond painting. I'm so into the yarn crafts. I want to work on that wave blanket a little bit this weekend. Get that going. Figure out my next loom project. There's a hat that Cheryl would like me to do, which I'm thinking about. I haven't really decided if I want to do that hat. It's a slouchy hat. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'll have to think about it. What would you guys like me to do next on the loom? I've had one request for a scarf and one request for a hat. Cheryl wants me to do a hat, a slouchy hat. So I am just asking you guys all kinds of questions today. This has been a very interactive show. Oh my goodness. And if you are new to the channel and you have no idea about the Prokopovitz trial, I have created a playlist. Please check out the playlist where I've put each morning show where I have talked about this particular trial into that playlist, and you can catch up from the beginning. And it's gone, I started out by saying trials usually drag, but I think because the original judge broke his ankle, and my understanding is he had multiple fractures in this ankle. Don't slip and fall on the ice, guys. It's dangerous. But since they replaced him with the retired judge, this thing has just sped along. He's no nonsense, this guy. Break, 10-minute break, 10-minute break, And he's standing up, waiting for them to come back from the break. So he is not playing, this judge. He's a nice guy. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so guys, that is the morning show. I'm so glad to have brought it to you today, and I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. I will be doing the morning show tomorrow, the Saturday edition. Maybe we'll have a verdict. And Sunday live. I don't have a guest this week. Anybody want to be a guest on the show Sunday? Let me know. Yeah, why not? I'll see you guys later. Oh, say hi to me in the lives tonight. Bye.